Chapter 9 Conspiratorial Purgatory. First part. The counterinsurgency camp was shrouded in tension. A senior officer in Krolok's unit had reported the young general's covert attack to Merkala. They will be disciplined upon their return. Merkala answered as if she'd predicted it all along. Then she informed her top brass. It would have been only natural for the 50 unit commanders to storm into headquarters in a fit of rage. However, when only 2 officers had come to register complaints, Greylancer let slip a bitter smile. So our morality is slackened to this. Merkala smiled. I pray it is only our morality. What else? Our souls. Merkala laid a hand on her generous bosom. Would you mind if I sighed? It doesn't suit you. Merkala waved her hand in the air instead. An aerial schematic of Merling's castle appeared. Such an elegant castle, said Merkala, making no secret of her admiration. Indeed, noble castles have been typically rustic. However, everything about House Merling is unconventional. And what do you make of that? Make, Commander? It is an act of defiance against the nobility. Vleeman Merling's father, Ryan Merling, he too was a nonconformist, a human sympathizer. He began this travesty of abolishing every tribute but one, demanding only a blood tithe, which he did not drink directly from humans himself. I am aware. Then you are aware of the Privy Council's plot, Lord Greylancer. I have heard whispers, yes. If they are allowed to liberate even the frontier, this world will essentially fall into the hands of the Privy Council. You and I both know. The sacred ancestor entrusted us with overseeing the frontier, fearing this very outcome. We must carry out his will if this planet falls to ruin. Why would Chancellor Cornelius covet control of the frontier, rather than the world, at the expense of the sacred ancestor's will? And so suddenly? Why, indeed, answered Greylancer, even as he wondered just what Merkala and Zeus were plotting. He felt a smile escape his lips. The noble was not averse to intrigue. In fact, if overseeing the frontier had taught him anything, it was that chicanery was part of the noble's natural disposition. Commander Merkala, said Greylancer, what is Zeus? Commander, interrupted a mechanized voice. What is it? Asked Merkala blankly. We detected 10 explosions 2,000 meters below ground. The voice reported the coordinates and continued. It is thought to be the location of Lord Krolok's Landros. Merkala closed her eyes, while Greylancer let out a sigh. A massive unidentified body is ascending from the explosion. It's burrowing this way. At its current course, it will surface in the middle of Lord Greylancer's encampment at 1919. Greylancer cocked his head down at the gold badge on the collar of his cape. This is Greylancer. Inform the men to fall back 10 kilometers east within 4 minutes. Transfer weapons and provisions by 1918. But if it cannot be done, abandon all equipment. Merkala directed her wan countenance toward her second-in-command. Try as she might, the Duchess could not hide her shock. A noble the likes of Greylancer giving an order to abandon weapons and flee. Do my eyes deceive me? I am not entirely certain myself, he answered morosely. Commander, you should get yourself to safety immediately. Whatever this thing is will surface in the midst of our troops, but it may still be capable of laying waste to the entire army. Yes, I am aware. Markella rose to her feet with a grace that would elicit any watcher's sighs. Within 3 minutes, the army had retreated to its designated position. The earth ruptured, and the gargantuan ground dweller revealed itself before the eyes of the terrestrial world. Whether its morphology was suited to surviving underground was questionable. When the creature emerged fully from the ground, it stood 200 meters tall and 300 meters long, with plates made of bedrock covering its beetle-shaped body. An avalanche of dirt and gravel spilled down from between its densely packed plates, snapping the trees below like toothpicks. The 2 protuberances on the sides of its head appeared to be eyes that had atrophied from disuse. The pearl legs lining the ventral part of the abdomen gripped the ground. General Eunice, Greylancer's second-in-command, had pulled back the barrier along with his men, so that it cornered the creature against Merling's barrier behind it. The creature charged forward, as was its instinct, crashed against the barrier shielding the Greylancer forces, and was repelled back. Rather than maneuver laterally, which was clear of obstacles, it continued to face off against the invisible wall. A white mist began to emanate from the creature's flanks. "What is that?" asked Markella from the newly transferred headquarters. "Those rocky plates on its exoskeleton are no ordinary scales," Greylancer answered. "They're like vibrating plates from moving through the earth. If I'm right, this is about to get interesting." The noble let slip a grin. I failed to see the humor in this. Before Markella had scarcely finished, a mechanized voice reported, "Commander, our barrier is weakening." Stunned, Markella let out, "No. Can the creature be? It's emitting an oscillatory wave used to crush gravel and rock as it burrows through the earth. It might be more powerful than the gravitational barrier can bear," explained Greylancer, amused. This unfamiliar creature was a precious plaything that made the warrior's heart dance with excitement. When the barrier is destroyed, deploy air chariots. Attack the creature from behind. "From behind?" Markella asked. "Yes." The noble's eyes gleamed. "The barrier is weakening." He eyed the holographic screen projected in the air, where the creature charged the invisible barrier again, broke through, and scuttled toward the Greylancer forces deployed before it. Air Chariot shot into the air as if to escape, but quickly circled back and dropped several black objects at the moving target's abdomen. A dimensional corrosion bomb hit one of the rock plates and opened a hole about 10 meters in diameter, which grew gradually larger. The bomb was designed to rend a hole in the dimension and drag its target into another dimension. No monster had the means to escape it. "It's glowing again," said Markella, to which Greylancer nodded. The creature was wrapped in a dazzling white light. After a moment, when the glow dissipated, the gaping hole in the creature's abdomen had stopped expanding. The oscillation wave had halted the dimensional corrosion. "This thing is too dangerous," said Markella, shaking her head. "Wait." As if prompted by Greylancer's voice, the massive creature, weighing perhaps tens, if not hundreds of thousands of tons, spun 180 degrees in the other direction. Merling's barrier now loomed before it. The creature began to glow again. Look, not even Merling's barrier will slow it down. With the creature's every advance, the ground sank around it, destroying buildings nearby. This had been Greylancer's strategy all along, to attack the creature from behind to trick it into believing that the attack was Merling's doing, and to coerce it into destroying the barrier. "Now, Commander." Markella gave only a curt nod. "Mobilize the entire army toward the breach point." The army generals had already been briefed in the event of a full-scale offensive. Beneath the moonlight, the counterinsurgency forces commenced their advance. Myrkella blinked her eyes in astonishment. A single chariot shot into the sky over Merling's dominion, as if in want of the first strike. Just who was? Myrkella glanced to her right. Her second-in-command had vanished, page break indicated by a small cross. Bathed in moonlight, Greylancer raced the air chariot toward Castle Merling. The wind lashed his face like a sea of whips. The noble had no use for a barrier. Clashing against the elements headfirst was how Greylancer took the fight to the enemy. He made visual confirmation of Castle Merling. No anti-aircraft fire or intercepting vessels, even as he suspected a trap. Greylancer thought, "The devil may care, but I alone shall be the one to perish." Full ahead. No sooner had he shouted these words, than Myrkella's face floated up before him on the chariot's monitor. "The operation had been called off, Lord Greylancer." "What?" he blurted out. "Merling's generals have officially abdicated. The battle is over. Redirect your efforts to destroying the subterranean creature. Merling's dominion is now under the control of the central government. We must eliminate any threat ravaging the territory. When that is done, you will accompany me to the surrender agreement." "Understood." The castle keep drew closer up ahead. Saying nothing, Greylancer turned the chariot around and set course for the subterranean monster. The look pasted on his face had far surpassed anger. He wore an expression only of blank indignation. First part end.